My name is Amara Enyia, A-M-A-R-A-E-N-Y-I-A.
You know how to spell it, you know how to you don't have to go that far. Stick to the doctoring right now. How do you feel after this first event?
I feel excellent. I think the energy in the room was palpable. I think it was very positive. People were excited. They're enthusiastic. And I think they're ready to do the work necessary to transform the city. So I feel great.
Was there any symbolic reason for having it in the stronghold of the daily 11th ward?
Yes, indeed. We are sending a strong message. So we're taking our message right to the heart of the machine. We're taking our message to those strongholds of cronyism, of corruption. That's the point. And we're making a very strong statement that this is a new day, that we're writing a new chapter.
We're a super local Bridgeport paper, so what do you think about Bridgeport? Do you hang out here?
I've always loved Bridgeport. I always hang out. I go to the Bridgeport, what's the park?
Parmesan?
Yes, Parmesan. I go there all the time.
Oh, really?
And do bird watching and other random things. So I actually love the neighborhood.
What kind of birds do you watch? What's your favorite bird?
I don't know. I don't really know what they're called, but they're always nice. And it's nice. It's very peaceful there. So I just walk there.
What neighborhoods have you lived in?
Now I live in Garfield Park. So I've always lived kind of west, Garfield Park. I lived in Medical District for a while. But I get around.
I know in a lot of your interviews you want to be a model for self-efficacy for young people. I saw a tweet recently that was young people are underestimating themselves.
Yeah.
What do you mean exactly by that? And also how, I know being a model is one way, but how at the community level can you foster that feeling in people? Because I know it's something I have a problem with personally. A lot of people I meet, they don't really feel like they can do a lot.
We have to do it by example. So it's just by actually doing the things so for me it's just doing even the process of running. Sometimes I think we do underestimate ourselves because of what society tells us is possible, or they'll say we're too young or we don't have enough money, or all those things. And I think we have to look beyond that and just have to do some certain things. And so for me it's sort of leading by example. A lot of people would try to discount me because of my age or experience, what have you. But if we know what is right and we have the ability to do it, I think we have a responsibility. And I think young people have to really see themselves as capable of changing systems and not feeling intimidated or scared to challenge the status quo. And so the best way to do it from my standpoint is to do it by example. And so that through me and what I'm doing, other people will be inspired to do whatever that looks like. It doesn't have to be running for office necessarily. It could be any number of things. But it's just the notion of daring to actually do.
Do you think that's something that has diminished in the young population? Is that a feeling that not having that efficacy is
Well, I think our current system perpetuates a sense of apathy, and it's not necessarily because of us, but I think the system in place makes it so that it makes people feel like they don't have a say in government and leadership in their communities, and so that's what we're pushing back against. So we're dispelling all of the conventional wisdom. We're not accepting the conventional wisdom. We're saying that does not apply to us, and that in spite of what they say, we're actually going to move forward and do what we know is right.
Do you have a special plan for integrating young people into your campaign, or something you would do on the other side when you win?
Oh yeah, and definitely in the campaign at all levels, because that's the energy that we need in the city. And even in the city, I think incorporating their voices into our policy is important. It's something that we don't do enough. And so having those voices actively engaged in the policy-making process and making sure that they are at the table when a lot of these decisions are being made is something we have to be intentional about. And I intend to be very intentional about it.
Do you ever worry that, there's people that get caught for corruption or, looking at child porn on state computers or whatever, but they didn't go in, I assume they didn't go into that process thinking they were going to take bribes or turn evil like that. Do you ever wonder that the system is something that would take you over once you get on the other side?
No, because my core values are intact, and I knew who I was and what I stood for before getting into office. So running for office is just an extension of what my values are. And so I know that things like money and power, those are not the things that drive me. And so because my identity is intact going in, I'm not going to be swayed by the things that tend to trip up our typical elected officials. So I have no worries about that.
What kind of stories did you write when you were the editor-in-chief?
Oh my gosh.
What was your favorite kind of side story? Or any puff pieces you especially like writing?
And there were so many. I mean, I really can't pinpoint one now, but it was definitely one of the best jobs that I had as editor-in-chief. because just the knowledge, the telling people stories, I've always been very interested in that, and getting to really see the university at this top level and be able to tell the stories of students and in the community, and managing a newspaper. I mean, it was a great experience for me.
Did you do anything with that afterwards?
No, I betrayed the field and went to law school.
Did it help you in law school at all? Probably not.
Not so much, but I still write. I've always been a writer. So I just turned my talents a little bit in the other direction.
Any stories from working under Mr. Daly? Any little tidbits? Not even one. He never spilled a drink and everyone laughed, or ate a weird kind of sandwich.
I'd have to think about that one a little bit. I'd have to think about that one. I'd have to think about that one. Let me go back into it and recall some things.
Well, maybe we'll email you and ask you. Well, do you have any words of encouragement for people when they're at their 80th hour and they should maybe make it to their 95th hour of working for something? What gets you over that hurdle and you want to stop if you ever do?
We just have to do it. I mean, we know the right thing. We just have to do it, and we can't be scared. It's going to require sacrifice. It requires work. It requires fighting, but there are forces that are fighting against us. So they're not going to stop fighting. They're not going to rest. And so to the extent that we can, we have to keep pushing. And it's not just for us. It's for something bigger than us. It's not just for me. This isn't about me. This is bigger than me. It's bigger than Ron. And so if we know what needs to happen, we have an idea of what should be, then we have to fight to actualize that vision, because at the same time, they're also fighting to push their vision of what Chicago should look like. And so that's, to me, that's what keeps me moving. That's why I'm running.